There's one day in the year when everybody is Irish. St. Patrick's Day, of course. Millions turn out for the wearing of the green to the tune of the jigs and alcoholic beverages.
What's up, everybody? I am Johnny Christ, and this is Drinks with Johnny Live. Welcome back, everybody, and happy St. Patrick's Day. You know, it's been almost a year, I want to say, since the last time I went live with you guys. I was watching back some of that stuff, and I missed it, man. I missed you guys. I missed you guys in the chat. To be honest, I kind of looked at it and was like, I think we could do better now. So you're gonna follow us along. We're gonna have some fun, and you be the judge if we're doing any better. As I said, we're gonna be having some fun. I got a couple of great guests, as you know, a couple of great friends of mine. We're gonna celebrate St. Patrick's Day together. We're gonna be playing a game. I'll explain the rules in a second throughout the entire chat. It's very simple, so if you feel like it, follow along with us and try and keep up. We're also gonna be letting you guys know who won the t-shirt contest we've been running for the last week or so, and those 7 lucky winners will do that. And as we've been saying for the last 2 days, if you guys get us to 10,000 subscribers right here on the YouTube channel, I will pick someone from the live chat, and they will be a guest on the Drinks with Johnny podcast. Now, they will also be able to bring someone else on with them. So the 3 of us will get together and have a chat, and it'll be just like one of these ones I'm about to have with a couple of my really good friends. So, again, let's have some fun. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Let's throw it out there. I'm just going to bring on my 2 very good friends. I wouldn't have it any other way celebrating at a holiday revolving around drinking than having Brandon Saller and Dan Jacobs of Atreyu. How you guys doing today?
Hey.
Lovely. Hey. Cheers, motherfuckers. How are you?
Cheers, buddy. How are you guys?
I'm fantastic.
You got a green beer. You got a green beer.
Who's got a green beer?
Dan's got a green beer.
Dan's got a green beer. That's rad.
That's very nice.
So everyone's doing good? You guys enjoying your St. Paddy's Day so far?
So far, so good. I went to physical therapy, and now I'm drinking. I drank some green mimosas, and now I'm here with you.
Green mimosas. Okay. So you got a head start on me. This is my first beer right here. So
you're fucking up.
Don't worry. I catch up quick. How about you, Dan? How's your day been going so far? I know you got company coming over later, and you're going to be in true good fashion form as a host soon.
Yeah, I've been good. I came in from the ye old office and straight here to start the celebritating.
He's already there.
Yeah, he's already pronouncing shit. He's got ye old office. This is fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, I texted you guys before. We're going to make a drink together. This is an Irish cocktail. Full disclosure, I've never made this before. To everyone listening and watching at home, rather, I had to ask them to tell me again the measurements on this pour right before we went live. So let's see what I can do here. Brandon, are you ready for the graphic? All right, this one is called the Irish Maid.
What's up?
All right, so simple enough, but effective, I hope. So you guys got your shakers out?
Got them.
All right, cool. Now you're going to get 2 slices of cucumber and throw those in there. And you're going to get a muddler. If you don't have a muddler, just try and use like the backside of a spoon or something. And
I don't have a muddler, I just realized, but I have this really big marker. So I'm going to use that.
Don't use the side with the ink, though. It might do something a little different to the drink.
Could be cool, though.
It could be cool. Yeah. You know what's funny is there's not too many Irish cocktails that I could find out there. Because I think mostly because when you drink Irish whiskey, you kind of just drink it straight up or on the rocks. You don't often make a cocktail with it. So I don't know about you guys. How many Irish drinks have you ever had, like cocktails?
Irish
car
coffee,
bombs, really.
Car bombs.
Car bombs.
I feel like Irish, like they're real alcoholics, man. They're like not. There's no fanfare. It's like put it in my mouth and get me drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not.
This is
they're
why.
not cutting
This is
their
why.
shit with anything, you know.
Yeah, that's why I love this holiday. I mean,
Yes,
I
right.
actually don't even think they really celebrate in Ireland. It's one of those things that we just do here as weird Americans and use an excuse to drink in the middle of the week.
Yeah.
But I'll take it. So I've got Tullamore Dew 10-year Irish whiskey here, guys. You're going to want some Irish whiskey for this next part, obviously. What do you guys got?
I went with the classic JMO.
Nice. What about you, Dan?
Yeah, I'm doing an IPA GMO.
Whoa, I've had that. That is a delicious bottle. That's going to
Yeah.
change this drink just a little bit, but hey, I'm backing it.
You know.
Right.
All right, we're going to do
Alright.
a 2-ounce pour of that into your shaker. And as I always do, you guys know, I add a little bit more.
A touch.
Just a touch, just a
A
touch.
skosh.
And then, the next ingredient is going to be like 3/4 to an ounce of fresh squeezed lemon juice. Yeah, if you don't have fresh squeeze, it's okay to use just lemon juice. But
I should have came over and got some of those Cristo lemons.
you know what's funny, Brandon? We'll get into that in a second. My lemon tree died. I don't have them in the garden anymore. I don't have the green thumb. I got to get someone over here to help me with that.
Rest in peace, lemon tree.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I still got lemons from the grocery store and squeezed them myself. There's a lot of jokes there that I won't use. So pour in that lemon juice into your shaker,
Got it.
and then
Going
you're
straight from
gonna
the top.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and then we're gonna take a little bit of Saint Germain. We're gonna do about a 1/2 ounce of that if I could get mine open.
My wife is so stoked on this because she used to drink like champagne cocktails with this all the time.
Yeah, I remember at the
It
beginning of the
has-
pandemic, you guys
Yeah.
turned me on to like what was it, a Saint Germain Aerol Spritz?
Yeah, Aperol Spritz, something like that.
Yeah.
Good.
So we're gonna do that.
3/4.
Yeah, that one's about a 1/2. Go a little light on it.
Yep.
And then we're going to do a little simple syrup. Now, if people don't know at home, to make simple syrup, it's really easy. You boil sugar and water equal parts. Let it all mix together, then let it sit. Put it in the fridge, and you got simple syrup. But I've got some special simple syrup. I've got lemon jalapeno that was sent to me from this one of those like packages, monthly packages things. So I'm going to spice it up a little bit with mine. Now you're going to do about, it says 3/4, but I'm not a big simple syrup guy, so I'm going to do about a 1/2 ounce.
Okay.
Even though this one is pretty good. I made another drink with it the other day. It's fantastic.
That sounds super good, like for like a margarita or something too. Could be nice.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right. So
All right.
now you got all those ingredients in your shaker. Let's throw some ice on top.
Ooh, ice. Ooh, I
And then-
I will be back in 2 seconds.
All right. Well, we're going to keep going, Dan. You get back when you can, all right?
Going. Keep going.
All right, Brandon, now you got that. Let's just shake it up. When you're shaking, you want to feel it getting cold, you know?
Yeah, babe.
And now you're going to take a cocktail glass after you have that nice and shaken. Get some ice in there. And now, if it all worked out right, you can just pour that right over the ice, and you'll have the Irish Maid.
She looks nice.
Oh, yeah.
She looks like a tasty maiden.
She's yes. And at the end, actually, I forgot one thing. You can garnish with another couple of cucumber slices if you have them. And there we have it. That is the Irish Maid. Let's take a sip and see how she did. Cheers, buddy. Happy
at
St.
that.
Patrick's Day. Happy you're back
Cheers.
there, Dan. Thanks for coming back.
Did it.
Cheers, brother.
Success.
I don't know
Ooh,
about
that's
yours,
delightful.
but mine came out pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good.
refreshing.
It is
Refreshing.
Very
refreshing.
refreshing.
I'm digging
You know
it,
that-
man.
The cucumber
What a
just kind of
swing.
comes in the back, like the cucumber. Well, no pun intended. The cucumber just kind of comes right in the back and just says, "Hey, just in case you forgot, I'm here."
Hey, I'm here.
I like that it came in the back because then it would be, you know, if you pickle a cucumber in the back, what does it become?
Butt plug?
What's that?
A butt plug?
Yeah, butt plug. That would be correct. He answered the first question correctly. Speaking of, everybody, let's give the rules to this game. It's not a very complicated one. It's one that everyone has played before. It's the simple word of the day. So anytime this word of the day comes up, we are all going to call each other out and take a drink. That includes you guys in the chat following along. If you want to participate, grab a drink. Even if you're not of age or don't drink alcohol, you can grab some juice, you grab some water, and still have some fun with us. But the rest of us here, I believe, are game, and we're going to play this game. And I think by the end of it, we're going to be pretty toasted because the three of us are from Southern California. I just did an episode with Kevin Eastman, one of the co-creators of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles franchise, and I thought let's just go rad. Rad is the word of the day, everybody. Anytime any one of us says the word rad, we're gonna take a drink.
That sounds rad to me.
Oh, the first one's down. Wow. So that transition is pretty easy. For those of you who don't know all three of us here, I don't know why you're tuning in, but thank you anyway. We're all from Southern California. Grew up together in the bands Atreyu and Avenged Sevenfold. I've been very close over fucking a couple decades now. And, we've talked about it before, but I really attribute both of our bands' eclecticness to the environment that we grew up in together, the musical environment of getting, influences from all different places. I've talked to you about this, Brandon, on the show, and those who haven't already seen it, you could go back and watch. It was one of the first shows we ever did on Drinks with Johnny, and it was a fucking blast. You could check that out. But Dan, how do you feel about that? I mean, being a Southern California band that's been kind of pigeonholed into metalcore, and then, had all the eclecticness of some punk and stuff, and just, going around that. Where do you think a lot of those influences come, and the sound that we got in the early 2000s from Southern California?
At least I think it's probably a similar thing for all of us in the sense of like where it kind of started being initially in the punk scene, being introduced to heavier music via punk, and from there it kind of started snowballing. Just as our abilities started getting better, we started craving higher ability of music. I mean, most punk stuff is pretty straightforward, so we started looking into things like the hardcore scene, where the intensity was a little bit crazier and stuff, and going to the shows and watching people just go way crazier than they did at punk shows, and that kind of lured us into that world a little bit more, and started making some of our stuff a little more heavy. But then again, also at the same time, when you're listening to all this kind of stuff, there's also like as they say, the emo or whatever side of things, just the softer side of things, the poppier punk stuff, whether it be even Saves the Day or Newfound Glory and that kind of whole world. I think, liking all of that stuff at the same time and wanting to have a band where we could have everything that we liked musically all in the same band, with the core of it kind of being punk or hardcore metal kind of stuff. I feel like every band in Orange County that, stepped up from the, when you had like the 18 Visions and the Throwdowns, the Adamantiums were a little bit more just smashed in the face, just brutal vocals the whole time. You had, Thrice, Avenged Sevenfold, Atreyu, bands like us coming out doing something just a little bit more melodic and a little bit more, like you said, eclectic. We're just kind of mixing everything instead of really sticking to one style.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great point. I like that, as the lead guitar player, Atreyu, I mean, you're a shredder now. I like that. I like your point of the transition as you start to gain a sense of musicianship. I mean, where was it for you as a guitar player? You mentioned you're playing punk bands, playing punk music, a little bit more straightforward. What was one of the first shreddy solos you transcribed or even created on your own?
The first one that made me go, man, I think I want to be a lead guitar player and start kind of pursuing down the road of the 80s, 70s world was Panama by Van Halen.
Nice. Rest in peace.
I was in this, I used to take guitar lessons for 3 years, and the last year of it, this is my first 3 years of playing. the last year of it, I was taking this class at this place around here called the Music Lab. They had this class. It was called the Rhythm and Blues or Rhythm and Groove class. And it was basically, instead of just a guitar lesson where you'd go and play guitar with your teacher, they'd have like several drummers, several bass players, several singers, and a couple guitar players and whatnot. And you just switch off, learning how to like be in a band and how to like play with each other. And one of the dudes at the time, I was, probably 14, 15 years old. One of the older guys who was like in his 40s at the time came in and was like, man, I want to play this Van Halen song called Panama. I don't care who plays it. I just want to hear it. I was like, they played the song and I heard the guitar solo and stuff. And I was like, I want to play this song. Like, I'll be the guy for this song. And I remember after that, it just kind of ran. I actually took from the Panama solo, there's a part in there where there's like a bend tapping thing. That I note for note ripped it off and put it in my Right Side of the Bed solo on our album The Curse.
Straight up.
10 years later or 8 years later or whatever it was.
That's gonna be the first word of the day, because that's fucking rad. I love that story right there.
That is rad.
I remember when you brought that solo to practice and you brought in scale me I was like, what is that? And you're like, Panama.
Oh, you gave in too quickly, Dan. You're supposed to let everyone have like a guess at it.
Yeah.
Heard
you
that
know what's
before.
crazy?
What is
no
that?
one's ever called me out or something like, dude, he just ripped off fucking Van Halen. That's all that is. It's like I've never had like an interview or anything where someone's like, man, dude, you totally ripped off Van Halen in that solo.
That's hilarious. Because a lot of times,
Halen's credit, I feel like to Eddie Van Halen's credit, like, he's one of those dudes that if people rip off Eddie Van Halen, people are just like, well, yeah. Like, they're not mad at it.
Yeah.
That's kind of like everybody's ripping off Van Halen. That's kind of that's just what you do when you want to play guitar.
That's pretty funny, though. I'm glad you mentioned that, too, because, I don't know about you guys, but over the years, you have a couple, if you read the comments and listen to some of the critics, there'll always be someone, oh, well, they're just ripping off this, they're just ripping off that. And it's always funny when you know what you quote-unquote ripped off and they get it wrong. And that's that's always where I'm just like, you don't know what you're talking about. This is awesome.
Yeah. We ripped off somebody totally different.
And I'm not going to say who.
Dum-dums.
You fucking idiot. Yeah, that's great.
Speaking of writing music and new music, guys, Warrior featuring Travis Barker is out right now. And you got the new album, Baptize, coming out June 4th. I listened to The Warrior. It's a great song, but I got to say it kind of was overshadowed by the video for me. Just because, Brandon, you got your ass beat by your bandmates. I just got to – where did the idea come from? And, Dan, when you get a chance to chime in there, I want to know how much fun you had kicking the shit out of Brandon for this video.
So, strangely enough, the video idea came from me. It was my idea.
You wanted to get your ass kicked. Okay.
Well, I've had this idea for a while, and it just seemed fitting with the video and just seemed fitting with everything. And I originally brought it up to the Hell or High Water guys like years ago, and they were like, fuck no, man. And then I brought it up to the Atreyu guys, and they were like, yeah.
Well, they've had to put up with you for a little longer there.
They've had decades, 2 decades of punishment. So we brought it up, and filming it was like one of those things where I was like, okay guys, like, I need you to really hit me. Like, you can't fake it, you can't like, you have to fucking hit me or it's gonna be noticeable.
Yeah.
And it, like, the first couple takes, it's so funny because like my band is such sweethearts that like the first couple takes happen and we'd cut, and then like immediately it's like 10 hands on my back. You okay? Are you good, dude? You good? I'm like, yeah, I'm cool. Get up. Like, yeah, I'm so good. Like, you got to hit me harder than that. Like, you're going to have to really fucking do it. So we had to end up kind of almost like there's a couple moments where it's like, right here, you're going to fucking hit me in the face. And it was like, and over here, you're going to break a bottle on my head. And it was like, so we kind of knew what we were doing. So like, I think that dudes had like in their head that it was happening. So they went for it. And there's a couple shots, like there's that Travis fucking haymaker that just nails me in the chin, and you literally see my fucking chin fat jiggle. Like he got me. Like I was sore, and like those bottles, like
those were those had to be breakaway bottles though, right? Are you?
It's sugar glass, but let's they still cut you. It shards into like fine little pieces of sharp sugar.
Yeah.
So like it's still like I had like little just like micro cuts all over my head, and like all of the shit that was like stuck to my head and like all that shit was just real. Like, it just was kind of in my fucking skull. But it was definitely for me fun. Definitely a bit of a beating, and you realize how disgusting fake blood tastes. I didn't realize that before. There's actually a scene in the video where I go out of frame, and it's because I'm almost throwing up because of the taste of the blood.
Yeah, it really makes you wonder how Gene Simmons has done it for so many years. I tried to pull that on a Halloween show once, and I was fucking gagging. It's really not
bad.
it's not the favorite drink I've ever had. But back to that, Dan, dude, I know you could kick some ass in real life, and I'm sure there's been some moments that you wanted to hit your bigger bandmate in Brandon Saller.
Tell them the story.
So let's hear about how fun it was for you to lay into him.
Well, speaking of, I've got two parts to that. One, Brandon and I did actually almost get in a physical fight on our first tour ever, which is ridiculous because Brandon's like 8 times my size, but I was very But it basically we were very upset with each other on tour. You know, when you're in a van with 5 or 6 dudes, traveling around the country, you're just losing your mind after a while. And we were at a restaurant, and we were somehow got into this argument about who needed to take a shit first because it was a one shitter bathroom, and I scurried in there first. And he got angry with me and turned the lights off on me while I was in there, and was like throwing toilet paper over at me, like wet toilet paper. So I was like, I can't even see my own fucking, I can't wipe my ass in the dark. So I was like, that son of a bitch, that's the last stress. So he goes out, and then he comes into shit. I'm doing the same thing. I'm throwing fucking stuff over at him, just egging him on more. And then he came outside, and like, I think he tried to put ice down my shirt or something like that. And I was like, I'd had it. So I just started fucking jumping up in the air, trying to swing at him, and went in for a big haymaker, and I missed. And by then they kind of broke us up, but.
Oh my! You know. I love that it's also a shit story. Like that's that's just. Oh man, you went shit first. Ah, fuck you!
Yeah,
like
you
that's.
Asshole.
Yeah. It all came down to just turds, really. Like, we wanted to get them out.
Had Dan been wearing a little bit of taller shoes, he probably would have landed that first hit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or if I could higher. Next time, man. Next time.
You gotta get the hops. Gotta get the hops.
Yeah.
But as far as the video, I mean, like, the video was super fun because, like I said, at first it was hard to let go and just fucking hit him because it's like, man, like I don't want to actually do damage, but after a couple takes of kind of like, all right, and a little bit of drinking, we had a little bit of whiskey in the dressing room that kind of helps you be like, all right, maybe I don't give a fuck. Let's just knock this motherfucker out. But it's fun. I mean, like I used to take Muay Thai for a little bit here and there years ago, so I was kind of trying to get those knees back in there, or some of the techniques and stuff, just to make it look more brutal, or like we're not kind of just flailing around.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up the Muay Thai. I remember we've been on so many tours together, but I remember I want to say it was like a Taste of Chaos, something like that. One of the shed places that we were playing together. I think I watched you from afar. I was walking by to the dressing room, Dan, and you were doing a radio interview with someone, and they actually asked you to take them down because you had been doing jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai at the time.
I forgot about that.
Are you still practicing? And do you remember the story I'm talking about? It was like this big dude, and he's like, "I want to see you take me down." And I was literally like walking with my backpack to my dressing room, and it was in the common area.
Huh, I do remember that actually. It was like in like Massachusetts or something like that, like in the grass area.
Yeah.
Back by like catering or whatever.
Exactly.
I haven't trained in years. I did for a while. I got my blue belt in jiu-jitsu, and then I stopped for like 10 years, like a long time. And then I went back probably like 5 years ago, and I got about 3 classes in, and I fucked my back up doing like nothing, like trying to armbar some guy rolling nice and slow and gentle, and like popped something out of my back. I don't know what happened. I went to the emergency room. It was really embarrassing. I never went back.
That's just age, my friend. That is age.
Yeah. I hurt myself doing nothing, and I'm like, this is embarrassing. You can't go back to the school, Dan. You're the biggest pussy ever. Like, you were doing nothing.
Which leads us to your most recent hobby, which is
building Legos.
Yeah, Legos.
Oh, you're just like my wife. Yeah. Under the pandemic, she's been building like Legos like crazy. It's been fucking awesome.
Dude, it's a thing. I used to. It started because I loved them when I was kids. Actually, look at this. I got this little me back in the day, crushing some legs.
Dude.
Building a ships too.
Crushing legs means something different in the gym community. Just letting you know.
Legs.
Yeah, it's something I loved when I was a kid. The boats in particular. I loved building the ships and the castles. And then at my warehouse that I have going on for one of my businesses, one of the guys that works there, he loves building Legos and was telling me about it and showing me some stuff. Like, I don't know how many months ago this was. Probably like 5-6 months ago or something like that. And he showed me these Legos. I'm like, man, like I used to love building Legos. Why don't I keep building Legos? And I started looking into it, and then I became obsessed. And now I have like every Lego ship that's available on the market or not on the market.
Dude, some of those are pretty fucking expensive though. Like I've seen it, and like I'm like, what the like?
Yeah,
to make me build this? Like I have to build the toy. What the fuck?
We were rehearsing for our live stream events. Dan started kind of sharing his like refound love for Legos, and he's like, "Yeah, man." He's like, "I definitely got kind of deep. Like, I spent some money on some Legos last night." We're like, "What are you talking? Like, what are we talking? Like, a couple $100?" He's like, Like we're like, $500? He's like, Like we're like, how much money? Like, what do you spend? Like $700 on Legos?
Collectively, I've probably spent about almost $2,000 on Legos in the past, I don't know, few months.
Here's an idea. You start a YouTube channel or a Twitch or something, and you only go on like once every 2 weeks. What you call it, Leg Day. And it's just you building Legos for like hours.
I don't know how that would do, but yeah. I'd tune in for a minute.
I didn't say it was a good idea. I said it was an idea.
Yeah, most of it's me just going like, oh, God damn it, and dropping pieces and yelling and picking my nose and just weird stuff. It's really
hold on a second.
Rad. There's the word of the day. I wish we had set this up like Pee Wee Herman's Playhouse a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got a little bit out of the hobbies over the last year of Dan. Brandon, I know you've been a really busy guy. Speaking of Twitch, you've been going live on Twitch with what else with B-Sows. Started with cooking with B-Sows.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about how you've been passing the time other than the new music, which we will get back to. Any new hobbies for you?
It's pretty much just been, with the lack of music, lack of shows. We had a couple of times where we had, an album to finish or in the studio, or we had rehearsals for our live stream events. But other than that, it's just been like no work activity. Even on my other side, I do a lot of like songwriting for sync and TV film. And even that was kind of like came to a halt because people weren't doing sessions, and even the amount of stuff that was getting used was way more like slim because a lot of stuff went out of production. So I started doing Twitch. But yeah, that's been my crazy kind of consistent thing. Actually, my 1-year Twitch anniversary is on the 31st of March. So I'm going to be doing a 12-hour stream on the 31st of March. But I'm going to have
12 hours?
12 hours. 12 noon to 12 midnight.
Whoa.
It's gonna be great. I got some guests. I'm pretty much gonna wrap up everything I've done in the last year in 12 hours.
Do you get to step away during that? I mean, what are you gonna do when you need to poop and pee and eat? I mean, that's like.
I'll just go poop and pee.
Okay. Can you take? Would that be like a special paywall to follow you into the bathroom?
Yeah. You get that's for the OnlyFans.
And then,
Yeah, get a bedpan, and then if I want to eat, I'll just do like some mukbang sessions where I get the mic real close and just really get gross.
Chew and squish, stir.
It's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. I mean, a lot of it. I mean, you've been on with B-Sow Presents What Else, and it's kind of turned into, since I hurt my stupid hand, it's been a lot less of me playing guitar because I can't play guitar at the moment. But I've been doing a lot of like, I call it B-Sow karaoke, where I'll just like sing Atreyu or Hell or High Water or American Gentleman songs or solo songs. And then I have a lot of guests on, and that's become a cooler thing too. A lot more frequently, just having guests on, and like the most random people. Like I've had Jacoby from Papa Roach, I've had you, I've had Shane from Silverstein. Last week I had dude from fucking 5 Seconds of Summer, Ashton from 5 Seconds of Summer. Their fans are fucking crazy. There was like thousands of people in my chat, just like
that's
going
right.
off. But
Wait,
yeah,
did
just,
anyone
like,
catch it? Did anyone catch it? I just said that's rad, and I didn't even mean to.
Oh shit. But that's really been the majority of my kind of free time is just like hobby wise is just been on Twitch.
Yeah.
People.
Yeah, I mean it is kind of a hobby. I mean I'm not on Twitch. We're on YouTube right now. I started this podcast, this whole show before the pandemic happened, but I will say I had never done live before, and this is the first one I've done in almost a year. I mean, to the day, I don't know about you guys, but we started to hear wind about the pandemic and the coronavirus going to shut us all down for a little while. On St. Patrick's Day, if you guys remember correctly, was the day that here in Huntington Beach, they finally shut everything down, which was wild because here in Huntington, any excuse to drink, the bars are always going wild.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It's funny because last year, I think the pandemic's a good proof of the fact that if you leave me to my own devices, I just hurt myself. But last year nothing involved with these braces, but last year on St. Patrick's Day, I don't know why, but I was cooking carne asada. I just got holidays mixed up, I think.
Yeah, that's Cinco de Mayo, bro.
Too drunk before dinner, I think. And I had a new knife that I had gotten for Christmas that I hadn't used yet. It was like stuck in a drawer somewhere, and I was literally like, the pan out was, holy shit, babe, this knife is super good. And then I chopped my tip of my thumb off.
I remember this.
On St. Patrick's Day, but I was like, I'm not going to the fucking hospital. They just like shut everything down. Like, this fucking virus is everywhere. I'm not going to the hospital. That's where like sick people are going. So I just like dealt with it and had my thumb grew back, so that's fun. But like I didn't go to the hospital because everything had just shut down.
Yeah. Dude, it was a really wild time. I mean, things are starting to open up, and it's fantastic. Everyone, more and more people are getting vaccinated, which is going to help us all out in the long run here. Let's get back into a little bit of music, though. I mean, we had to shut it down for a minute. You guys just released this week the Warrior single to advance for Baptized, the album coming out on June 4th. And it was your guys' last record. God, now I've had too much to drink, and I don't remember what the fuck it was called. What was your last album?
In Our Wake.
In Our Wake. Thank you. I have it written down. I can't even read it because it's that far away. In Our Wake, which is a great record, by the way. You guys got cut short on that album cycle, too. And then you coming out with this Warrior, and then an album on June 4th. Do you guys know if you're going to be able to tour on this and what kind of plans there might be?
We're figuring it out still. Yeah, we were waiting, much like a lot of people, just kind of like, we're not going to put out a record until we can tour. And then we realized that like nobody knows, like that could be 2 years from now. You just never know.
Yeah.
And we kind of like came to the conclusion that like, especially our fans, like they're waiting still. Like they're all in the wings waiting for something new. And we kind of like just decided to go for it and kind of hope that everything was going good. Luckily, everything is going great with the vaccines and everything, like you said. But, we have a few festival things planned. Like we have Aftershock Festival in October and, a couple other like Wimmer Festival spots in the fall. But, we've heard a lot of word that like touring could be back, by the end of summer. So it's our hope that, we can get out there not too long after the record comes out, even if it's just for, maybe some slightly altered shows, but whatever we got to do, it might be some kind of like under capacity shows or some outdoor stuff. But I think it's just going to be all about figuring out, kind of adapting to how it works, which I think everyone spent the last year adapting to how to live life. So I don't think it's going to be any different.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's definitely, I mean, it all looks like it's all up on the up and up, but before everyone starts cheering and patting each other on the back, we got to realize that it is going to be at different capacities than we're used to for a little while longer. But it does look like they'll be able to have some live stuff going on. Dan, let me ask you a little bit about Warrior again. It's featured by Travis Barker. We all know who that motherfucker is. How did you guys come together with him? I mean, I know we've all been in passing through shows and stuff, but who reached out initially, and how was he to work with?
I mean, it was really through John Feldman. John Feldman has been working with Blink-182 for a while now, as well as he lives in the same neighborhood as Travis Barker. So if you work with John Feldmann in general, there's always just interesting people coming through at any given time. You could be in the middle of a session, John will be like, hey guys, I need to take a 30-minute, hour-long break. Machine Gun Kelly's here, or Travis Barker's here, or whoever's here and needs to do whatever. So Brandon in particular, being a fan of Travis Barker over the years as a drummer, and wanting to, he's somebody that we've always had our eyes on as like a potential feature. He's just a talented dude and brings such a cool vibe to things. So we reached out via John Feldmann and said, hey man, if you could get him to be interested in wanting to work with Atreyu, that would be awesome. And it actually worked out where we he came down, and Brandon in particular sat with him and went through all the drum parts and dialed it all in.
Yeah, Brandon, as the drummer with someone like Travis coming in, how loose did you allow the reins? I'm sure you had demoed out some of these drums before he heard them. How much of it was what you did, and how much of it was Travis being Travis?
Well, that was kind of the thing that I wanted to make sure we did. It was like, there's been a lot of times where Travis is featured on a song and he just like replaces the drummer. And I wanted to showcase him in a way that was a little bit different. That's why I did the kind of marching vibe and like, drum corps kind of thing. And I had done just like one little pass through on the drum kit of just like an idea. And he took it to a whole new level and added kind of made it more authentic. Like he added some of those kind of like accents and actual rudiments and realness of like how an actual like drum corps dude would play things. And like a marching dude would play things, and then just kind of did a bunch of layers. And he was super open. It's that weird thing where you're like you don't want to. It sucks when you get put in that position when you're like, okay, cool. Travis Barker just looked at me and he's like, cool. What do you want me to do? And you're like, oh god damn it. And he's like, oh hey, like was that good? And you're like, fuck, I'm the guy you're asking right now.
Yeah.
But he was super cool and like open, and he wanted to do what he does, but at the same time like was respectful of the fact that it's our band and our song, and he just wanted to make it sound cool. So he was super open to trying things and just like adding different layers, and it was definitely a easy and fun experience.
Well, that's fucking rad, everybody.
Oh, it is fucking
rad.
It
is fucking rad. I think it lasted a little too long without me having another drink.
Yeah, I probably do too.
But diving into that process though, like a little bit further, obviously you guys had been writing and recording this record over the last year with producer John Feldmann, who's a friend of the show. We've had him on. I actually think we had him on at one point, and when I stopped the record button, he was like, oh, I'm about to go see Brandon right now. We're discussing the new record and shit like that. So
it was probably around the same time.
Yeah. So I guess my question is, what was it like recording a new record under the pandemic? I mean, the logistics, just making sure everyone's being safe, while at the same time getting in a creative space. Like, what was that like for both of you guys?
It was sort of weird. Like, for me at least, we started the record in January, and then we went on what would have been our final tour of 2020 in Australia. And we came back. We were supposed to finish the record in, correct me if I'm wrong, Dan, but like February or March.
Yeah, soon after that.
And obviously it got paused, and we kind of kept pushing it. And so at the time, or still, but our bass player Porter lives in Alabama. His mom is older, so he's being really, really careful with everything, and willing to come out and do things, but just like really kind of stressed out about it. And so we ended up pushing the record till about June. And it was around June where, in John's studio, there hadn't really been many people working. It was just his main engineer and one other guy. It was a very small kind of bubble.
Yeah.
So we were able to kind of get in and just kind of, we all did our best to just not be on top of each other. It's a big room. It's a big studio. So we could all kind of have our own space in our own corners and do things. And we just we're safe about it. And so we were able to go back in and finish the album in June, which was nice that we were able to continue pushing forward. And I think for me, especially like after having March, April, May of just like, fuck, we're not doing anything. And what the hell is the world, to be able to get back in and like be creative again was huge.
Yeah, I'm sure that was, yeah, psychologically, I'm sure that was rad. But you just said you guys finished it up in like June.
It was rad.
Oh shit, I didn't see. That's why our producer picked that word. I tend to use it pretty often, as you guys know here in the chat. Getting back to that process, though, you said you were pretty much finishing up in June, if I heard you correctly, there of last year. How long did it take to get it mixed? And I mean, are you still mixing it now? How long have you sat on it, I guess, is the question. And
it's been
why
a
are
bit.
we releasing it now?
It's like August or September maybe.
I mean, some of these songs are like, well, it's almost like a year and a half old by the time anybody even hears them. I mean, it's like old. Like, if this was normal, if we were normal, whatever, we'd almost be done with the record cycle. You know what I mean? On to the next one or something.
The record was supposed to come out in October of last year.
Gotcha.
Yeah, of October 2020. So we've been done for a minute. Like I think it was August, September. Obviously, that got when we knew it wasn't coming out in October. We kind of like took our time a little bit, but we've still been sitting on these songs. But I will say, for the whole band that's been sitting on these songs for like a year, the songs are still good to us, so it feels good.
Yeah, I mean, that's always like a test, because especially like if you've been sitting on a new record for a year and a half, whatever, you've been touring on it, you're playing, you're getting close to that 2-year mark where, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but for me, when you've been playing, you're like, okay, I'm ready to start creating something new again. We've toured on this for a little while now. How about for you guys? I mean, like, without being able to tour on it, I guess it, you know, you don't hear it as often, you know. But, I mean, I guess just walk me through that thought process of how you're feeling about the record and the release. Have you, when you put it on the shelf, did you literally put it on the shelf, or were you listening to it over and over still?
I personally, I let it sit for a bit. I mean, we were listening to it religiously when we were trying to get the mixes and all that stuff. But
of course,
because there's been so much time, it's which is refreshing is being able to let the songs sit and breathe for a bit and then go back and listen to them with a fresh ear and be like, oh yeah, this is awesome. You know, it's the same way with coming up with ideas with writing and whatnot. I mean, my phone, I'm sure, as some of your guys is my voice notes are just riddled with hundreds and hundreds and years back of just little like ideas and whatnot, you know. And it's even something like that, you can, you know, you let something sit for a while and you go back and go through the notes, you listen to something that you haven't heard in like a year or two even, or months or whatever, and you're like, oh my gosh, I forgot about that voice note. I'm like, that's a really good melody, I still really like that. And that's kind of the true, like, if you really have something, to be able to come back and hear it with a fresh ear and get excited about it, where you're like, oh man, I need to get back, I need to show this to the guys, like, this is great, like, I think I have something here, you know.
That's actually really great that you talk about that, because that's kind of a filter for your own creativity in a way. If you let it sit on your voice note, easy enough for me to say, voice notes. If you let it sit on your voice notes for long enough and you come back and you still like it, because as you mentioned, I know a lot of the guys, at least in the rock world, a lot of my friends, all of us use our iPhones with voice notes, and you sing it, you know, because you have an idea. You're inspired by just life in general. You're walking around, you're doing something sparks. You're like, shit, I got to hold on to that. And then you forget about it for a while, and you come back. And, you know, for me, I don't know about you guys, but I come back, and I'd say about 95% of my original ideas are dog shit, and I just delete them. But there's always, there might be that one gem where I'm like, I could kind of go somewhere with that. How much of that is making it on Baptized for either of you guys? Like, is there some riffs, some melodies that, like, you went back to on your voice notes when you guys were creating this record and were like, this is awesome? Yeah,
there's a couple for sure. I think a lot of Baptized, which is something we've I'm actually, while I'm talking, I'm making another cocktail. So
yeah, let's all do that. If you guys still got more ingredients, let's make another fucking Irish Maid.
But with Baptized, a lot of it, and it's really the kind of the Feldman way, where, you know, it's kind of like you get into the studio and it's like, hey, what are we doing today? What's on your mind today? Like, what do you want to write right now? It's all very current, you know. So a lot of it we wrote, you know, and really from conception just started in the studio. But there were some riffs that we had or ideas that we had, you know, that kind of come back in, you know what I mean, like to be a part or two and here and there. But it was a lot of really just kind of, you know, it's good because it pushes everyone to everyone in the band to like not come in empty-handed. You know, it's like, well, I gotta get in there today with something, because every fucking morning we sit down around a table and John's like, what do we got? And everyone plays their idea and we all decided which one we're gonna do that day. You know what I mean? So a lot of it was really kind of current. But I mean, Dan especially, I think Dan had a couple kind of voice note, like melody vibes that kind of came back into play on this record more than the last couple.
Yeah, we have a song called Stay that's like a, I don't know, ballad-ish sort of. I mean, it's got some oomph to it, but it's kind of a more chill song. And I had I really like 60s, 50s style melodies and stuff. There's something like Beach Boys-y kind of stuff. And
fucking
there's
brilliant
a vibe
shit
there, you know? Especially when you take that kind of stuff from the 50s and 60s and you sprinkle that kind of vibe into modern day music. It just has such a refreshing, familiar, vibe to it. And I had a melody in particular that we ended up using on the bridge of Stay that was an idea that I was hoping would even just be its own song or something. But when the time came we needed a melody for the bridge, I was like, you know what, like, as much as I wanted to use this for something else, another idea, like, it fits here perfectly. It makes sense there. So here we go.
Not only did it fit there perfectly, but it was also the first time in Atreyu history that Dan sings a lead vocal on any Atreyu song.
What?
Yeah.
So that's happening on Baptize on a song called, what was it, Stay?
Stay.
Yeah.
Dude, this is...
Dan sings the bridge.
Yeah.
This is also the first time that every single member of the band sang harmonies on this album too.
Wow, that's super cool. No, we did that on the self-titled. That was the first time everyone else got in the vocal room. So that's a cool moment. I mean, what was that like for you, Dan? I mean, I know when I listen back to my voice sometimes, I mean, Brandon's had to get used to it, so I don't want to ask him this fucking question. But like, did you have any cringeworthy moments of when you're mixing it and looking back and going like,
Not too bad. I mean, the process of doing certain things here and there, like just recording it, could be a little weird because I don't sing a lot in the studio. It's mostly, if anything, I'll help with like backup vocals and things like that and group stuff. So it's not really a thing where you can really hear me, except for on the Times Now. For some reason, on the Times Now, you can hear me loud and clear.
Yeah.
If you know the tone of my voice, it's like, oh, there's Dan singing in the group vocals there.
Especially the 2.0 version, the acoustic version. You're like fucking pumping on that shit.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, I'm shorter, so everyone else is up here, doing the mic, and I'm down here, and I kind of have to like shoot up at it. So,
well, that's a sign of a good voice when you can really point your way through the everything,
Yeah. I will say on this record with everyone singing, which is very uncomfortable for everyone because it's not what they do all the time. We went back into the studio in June, obviously with some shifts in the band, but just like we had this weird like confidence and sort of just like anything goes attitude where no one, like, for lack of a better term, like no one pussed out.
Yeah.
And it was like, Dan, your turn, go sing. It was just like, yep, okay. I think the four of us all knew that there was just like no judgment, there was no nothing, just like go in there and deliver and do your thing, and we're all here to like welcome that. So like, dude, Travis, I mean, Travis, Johnny.
Yeah.
Travis barely fucking talks. He barely talks. But he was like, Travis, your turn, go lay down harmony stacks on this song. And he'd be like, okay. And just go in and do it. So it was like, there was definitely a feeling of like, it was like a judgment-free, just like positive thing where everyone kind of like got, we gave each other confidence to just go in and like be something different and better.
I think too, our band, there's so much stuff that we do live that we weren't doing on the album, but we do it. Like, for instance, myself or even Porter do a lot of backup vocals, harmonies, even a lot of parts that were Alex's parts for years. I would just do, or Brandon would do, or Porter would do, just because when you're trying to do stuff on an album, you have that space, and to do anything, you can mix and match, whatever, cut and paste, whatever you need to do. But live is a whole nother element, and because I am such a big part of the harmonizing, I'm the main guy that does the harmonizing with Brandon live. And then Porter second coming in with that stuff. We're like, why don't we take this record to another level and like bring those elements in? And if you see us live, it's such a big part of what we do. Like, why that should be on the record too, to where even Brandon typically on most of our albums would harmonize along with himself because it just sonically it sounds nice.
Yeah.
When you have your voice against your own voice in the recording world. But Brandon and I's voices they rub really nicely together. So we're like, why not on the album if there's ooh la la.
You guys rub radly.
Any places,
can we do
rad.
iterations of rad? Can it be post,
Radly.
present, and future
Radly or
tense?
radical?
Radical?
Radly, yeah.
We're gonna go with radical. Yeah, I don't think we drink enough. Have drinking it enough. Maybe we have to say.
Hold on.
If RAD shows up in the word, we gotta.
You said. I think we've dranken in enough. DRINKININ. Drinking in enough.
Can we put rad in there? Dradkin.
Time.
Oh, my director, by the way, is also telling me that my phone's autofocus halo keeps showing up. Let's do a bonus one. Anytime that shows up and my director says that, we not only have to take a drink, we have to take a shot of whatever is next to you.
Man,
Ooh.
I only have this.
Luckily, this is a shorter stream, and I didn't pee in a cup over here this time. That could have gotten weird.
Pee shots.
Yeah, dude.
Shooting pee again. Here we go.
This is so awesome with you guys. Cheers again.
Cheers.
Real quick, though, Dan, you mentioned a moment of first the personalities of the voices being on the record. I'm really excited to hear the rest of that in the record Baptized. That's, hey, by the way, let's cheap plug that shit. You can pre-order that right now, correct?
Yeah, so you can go to atreyumerch.com. You can get the pre-order, the vinyl, all the new merch. We're doing actually a new merch drop tomorrow.
Ooh.
So go to atreyumerch.com and check it all out.
Awesome. So I also wanted to bring up, though, you mentioned Alex. A lot of the Atreyu fans, as you guys have heard over the years, have been asking about him. I last saw Alex at Brandon, your daughter Piper's, I believe, second birthday in downtown Disney. We all got together, and it was good to see him again. I haven't seen him in a while. Just wanted to ask how he's doing.
We haven't seen much of him, but from what it looks like, he's doing great. He's doing a lot of painting. And definitely has a big interest in kind of guitars and some musical interests. So I think the four of us have been excited to see what he's going to do next. And, I think we're all fans of his art. His art has gotten pretty fucking crazy over the last few years. And he's definitely...
Would you call it rad?
Special. I would say his art's rad.
What?
And yeah, I mean, I'm always excited. I mean, I think the internet is a negative and butthole-ish world, so they all just want something to be as shitty as possible, which is unfortunate, but that's not real life.
Yeah,
I think that 2/5 of Atreyu on this live stream right now can genuinely say that we're looking forward to see what he does next, and looking forward to see what kind of adventure he takes in the next world, which we would hope that he feels the same way for us.
Yeah, and I think I brought up that point to kind of showcase against the rumor and innuendo that's out there. I mean, he was there at your daughter's second birthday, which was just a couple years removed. So
yeah, we have more history in life than we don't.
Exactly.
So, it's at the end of the day, it's all peace and love, and we're very Ringo Starr about it. But it's like one of those things where this is what it is now, and we're proud of what the band is now and excited. And I think if anything if the world has shown me anything about having a member shift in your band, it's that the internet sucks so much dick. But there's a lot of great people out there, but man, is there some shitheads. But I'm here to say, and I think Dan as well, that it's all love.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned you had more than just music with Alex, and it's been, as we talked about kind of at the top of this show, a couple of decades spanning that Atreyu and Avenged Sevenfold have been friends and known each other. Brandon, I know you and I have had this conversation numerous times about the very first tour I ever did with Avenged Sevenfold. I think I turned 18 in the middle of the tour, or right after. I don't even remember. It was in 2002, and it was the co-headlining tour with Avenged and Atreyu. Mm-hmm. We ended up staying at one of your...
maybe, too.
Yeah, Hope's Fall was on a little bit of it as well.
Yeah, they were. That's right. I'm so glad you said that, Dan, because I couldn't remember. The other day I was talking about this to somebody, and they were like, well, who else was on the show? And I was like, I could picture them. I can't tell. I couldn't tell you what their fucking names were at the time.
I just remember weird stories about them now that I'm thinking about Hope's Fall. I'm like,
it's hard to remember bands that aren't around anymore. Really, like they're not really like a band anymore, so it's hard to remember them because they're not like presently existing.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to ask you though, Dan. That was my first touring experience ever. We went to one of your buddies' houses or one of Brandon's buddies' houses in Arizona.
Tucson.
Yeah, Tucson. Yeah. We stayed over the night. There was a different bass player at the time. Obviously, a Porter wasn't in the band. I mean, for me, it was just like a very surreal experience. I wasn't even for sure going to be in the band at this time. I was just filling in and, you know, a little 18-year-old kid just enjoying being in a fucking van traveling up and down the coast, the west coast of the States. Do you have any memories of that tour that really stand out for you?
I remember flashes of being in Tucson and us all partying in Scott's house. His house was very small.
Yeah.
I just remember everyone just kind of like crowded on all the couches and like, because we slept there. We all slept there.
Yep.
All over the place. And being in his dining room. And I remember weird stuff from Hope's Fall. I remember Hope's Fall doing some weird stuff.
Well, I don't remember, dude. I was 18 years old. Maybe I missed it. I remember was gambling in the dining room and being introduced to highballs. We just kept calling them highballs, and it was literally just a fucking martini glass with some like Jack Daniels in it. And we're like, oh, highballs. I was like,
Highballs.
That's not a fucking highball.
Yeah, Hope Fall used to get into some, which to each their own, but they used to get into some interesting activity in their van.
Yeah.
Just like with each other.
Well, they're not a band anymore. Are you not going to
But
throw them under the bus? I mean, what's going on here?
There was just some weird genital stuff that like happened like between the band and like it wasn't. I don't know. I guess I'm gonna stop there.
Did we go? Are you bringing up docking in 2002? Did docking happen? I don't. Again, I don't remember. I don't even think I was privy to the knowledge because I was the little 18-year-old fucking shithead just hanging out with everybody.
We won't say which members of the band or anything like that. We'll just say that there's people in the band.
We'll say allegedly.
Allegedly.
If you had seen his alleged penis, what did it look like?
Yes. They were traveling in a van. We were all traveling in vans at the time.
Yeah.
They were in a van, and I remember just being in the van one time, and there was two or three of the band members in there, and there was two in particular that would just like joke around with stuff. It was like, dude, like how funny it would be if you just like touched his dick, or like if you like you put your mouth on it or something, or like stuff where it was like, oh, okay, guys, like that's you guys are very friendly with each other.
Yeah.
And then they would.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No,
well,
not at all.
Yeah, nothing at all. But privy to these instances, they're heterosexual males.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, they're not.
Yeah.
That's not what they normally do. At least as far as what we know.
That wasn't what they were projecting anyway.
It just was something for us too. It was one of our first tours. We're in the van. We're like, what are you guys doing? Like this is. You guys have been on tour too long.
I think at the end of the day, they were like dudes that they were into like fucking, like they were into shock. You know what I mean? It was like,
it was like frat boy stuff.
Yeah, it was like frat kid stuff. But great dudes, great guys. Hopefully.
Yeah.
It just did
very nice.
Some things. Yeah, it was great.
It was
great.
Let's move on there since we don't want to get too further into that. It is 2021 now. That was 2002, everyone. Give us a break. A couple of decades removed.
Again, to reiterate, nothing wrong with it.
Nothing wrong with it. As I said in Seinfeld. Not that there's anything wrong with it.
Anything wrong with it.
Moving forward, though, like on that tour, I remember we ended up at Showcase Theater here in Corona. And we did 2 nights. We flip-flopped on those 2 nights. That was the night that I met our current manager, or 2 nights rather, and I broke like strings. And like 2 nights before they asked me to join the band, and then that night on stage they're like, we're probably gonna have to fire this guy. And then at the end of the night, I think it was night 2, we all got on stage together while we were finishing up playing Second Heartbeat. Do you guys remember that?
Fuck, that's blurry as fuck for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't
We're
remember
all having a
being
good time.
Anywhere.
Dude,
I know
we were there, and the show was fucking slam packed. But
yeah, it was
a lot
sold
of
the fuck out.
a lot of that early like showcase theater chain reaction era to me, like it was so wild because it was just like preconceived like thought that was like, oh, we're playing showcase or we're playing chain, it's gonna be slam packed, bonkers. There's people hanging out the rafters, jumping off the balcony, going fucking ballistic. That like they all kind of blurred together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I do remember when we played one of the shows. I went home because it was, you know, when you're on tour, you're never home. So like before the local show, you go home and like shower and like get a good shave and like whatever. And my brother had this like brown button-up shirt, and I was like, yo, this is fly as shit. I'm gonna wear this dumbass like brown button-up. And we like took photos for some magazine, and I had this dumbass brown button-up shirt, which I look back on today. I vividly remember like this shirt, and I look back today, and I'm like, why would I wear that? It didn't, you know, like it wasn't a good decision. Like this shirt is.
Milk was a bad choice.
Milk was brown was a bad choice. I remember shit like that, but I don't remember singing Second Heartbeat, finishing Second Heartbeat.
I don't remember if we were singing. I just remember like at the end of the night, like it was just a full-on party on the stage. There was one of the nights it was just all the bands, all of us got on there, all the crowd came up on the stage as much as we could fit on that stage. And it was just all surreal moments for me. Getting back to some memories in general, some rad memories. I just did it. So it's St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's, everyone who's still tuned in. Thanks, and tuning in now. Follow along with us if you can. We're kind of drinking a bit.
We're in like a fucking Lamborghini speeding down the Dubai highway. No speed limit.
No brakes.
No brakes.
No brakes. What does this holiday mean to you guys? I mean, I don't mean in like a heartfelt way. I'm not trying to go down that route because everyone knows that's not what St. Paddy's Day is about. So, I mean, what are some fond St. Patrick's Day memories that you have? I mean, Brandon, you gave one at the top. You had a fond one of cutting your thumb off last year. And
so St. Paddy's is different for me because St. Patrick's Day is my mom's birthday.
Okay. Happy birthday,
yeah,
Mama Saller.
Yeah. Sean.
Yeah, so she, when I was young, I always used to dress up like a full-on leprechaun and go to school and give out candy.
You are the largest leprechaun I've ever seen in my life.
You're probably like Shrek.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But it would make her really happy. Like, she loved doing it. So I'd put on, like, a paisley vest and, like, a green turtleneck. And she would put, like, sparkles all over my face. And then I would go to school and, like, hand out, like, gold candy. And it was a whole thing because it made my mom super happy. So I did that until I was in, like, 5th grade. Like, I was a real human. And then I got
Dude,
to
you gotta say, I really hope you have photo. I need to see the photo album. I need to see the family photo album.
I have photos. I'll text you something. but I got to the point where I was like, hey mom, like for your birthday this year, like you can't put sparkles on my face. I can't go to school like this. It's just not happening.
I'm sorry. How old were you when you finally said that?
This is like 6th grade. So I'm like 13.
Okay.
12. Yeah.
So it'd been going on for the prior years.
Yes.
Oh, we got a box. We got a box, everybody. It's time to take a shot. We got the halo.
Oh, okay, nice.
All right. Cheers, everybody. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Hope you guys are all having fun with this. I have no idea where we're at with the subscribers. I don't think we're going to hit 10 tonight, but we'll see.
Just make it a new goal. So if you hit 9,500. Let's talk about this real fast, though. You have almost 10,000.
Oh, we got another box, dude. Seriously? I hate to cut you off. But I'm not cutting you off drinking-wise, but we got another box.
If there's anyone in this world that would never cut me off drinking-wise, it's you.
Yes, I am the pusher.
Can we talk, hey Johnny, real fast? Can we talk about? Well, I want to finish my thought. You have Drinks with Johnny YouTube has almost 10,000 subscribers. That's fucking huge. So
Oh, thank you, man.
congratulations.
Yeah, we're getting close.
Congratulations.
Hopefully we're gonna actually hit it tonight. I don't. It doesn't look like we're going to, but we'll still have some fun, and maybe we'll have to come back on and do this again. But thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, doing this show with you guys and just my friends in general has been, and the people who have come around to the Drinks with Johnny community has been incredible, man. I mean, I'm enjoying this so much. As we were talking earlier about hobbies and other things that just outside of our bread and butter and our livelihoods and, you know, our very first passion, our first love. It's fun to find these other things that, you know, it's not about the numbers or the money or anything like that. It's just we're having fucking fun. I mean, we're drinking together, and this is a thing. This is a thing that people are watching right now. Speaking of, we lost Brandon. I think he. I don't know what happened here. What happened here? Did Ash bring something in?
My wife just burst in the door so that I could show you this.
Oh my! Yes, yes.
Leprechaun.
Thank you, Ash. We definitely needed that for the stream.
Leprechaun B-Sal.
Dude, I think the Leprechaun B-Sal. What, you were probably like 8 years old right there. You were still a bigger leprechaun than I am today.
100% yes. 100%
Cheers. We got to hit this again.
Oh, there you go.
All right, we're celebrating a day that I don't know if they celebrate in Ireland or not. I'm pretty sure they don't. But let's talk about some Irish things. You guys have done Irish tours. We've been in Ireland.
No.
You guys have never been to Ireland?
Never been to Ireland.
We've been to Scotland. That's not the same at all.
It's not the same at all. No, it's completely two different countries.
Yeah.
So
You guys have never been to Ireland? That's mind-boggling to me.
Never. We haven't been to a lot of places.
We've also never been to South America. We've never been to Russia.
You've never? Okay, we've never been to Russia either, but South America, that's super surprising.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I don't know what's going on.
All the chat right now is I can't even see it right now. I guarantee you it's filled with
Brazil.
come to Brazil. Yes.
No, it's not good. It's come play in Brazil.
Come play.
It's always come play in Brazil.
We got a lot of great Brazilian fans. They always make sure. They always ask me the same thing. Have you ever had a caipirinha? And I'm like, yeah, I've made one on the show. Like I love caipirinhas. They're a fantastic drink. Have you guys had caipirinhas?
100%. Yeah. Fucking every time I go to Fogo de Chao.
Yeah.
Or any sort of Brazilian barbecue.
Yeah, get it in me.
It's a little better down on the other side of the equator. You gotta go check that out. Wait, are they technically on the other? No. The equator goes through the top of Brazil, does it not? Anyone in geography in the chat can correct me. I'm pretty sure.
I'm the wrong guy to ask there.
Pretty sure the equator goes right across and cuts off like just the northern part of Brazil.
I'm gonna be honest, Johnny. I'm really shocked and impressed that you know that.
I don't know where it came from, to be honest, and it's probably wrong. But if I'm right, it's like that moment in Old School where Will Ferrell just like demolishes the debate and is like, "Where am I?" Because I don't know where the fuck that came from.
I don't know.
I looked on Google Maps and they don't show the equator, so I don't even know if it exists anymore.
Is the equator even real?
I don't think it exists. I think it's done.
The equator got canceled. The equator got canceled in 2020. It apparently said something about its own weight size, and
there was like something the equator was trying to like say that certain people were below it.
Oh, and yeah, you can't do that. Can't do that.
That's fair.
It's kind of fucked up, to be honest. I don't know. Why does the equator think they can?
You know, I was never a big fan of the equator when I was in geography class either. You know, so.
Nope. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Let's get on to some more fun stuff, though. Dan, we were talking before we went live, man. I was looking at your Instagram, which is just at Dan Jacobs for everyone who wants to go check it out. You wore a straight-up Prince Charming outfit to your wedding that you just had in October. I didn't know it was on Halloween and it was a costume party. I just saw the Instagram post. I was like, this guy's a fucking genius. He just went for it at his wedding. Like, that is one of the coolest suits I've ever seen. Walk me through how your wedding went and how you convinced your wife that this would be a really cool idea.
Well, myself and my wife are both very she's like a girl version of me. So we're just very colorful people, very artistic. Mm-hmm. We like weird stuff. And you know, we were planning on initially getting married, you know, earlier this year, coming up here. We were supposed to get married in May, but because the whole pandemic, everything kind of got thrown off, and we have some older relatives that we were a little bit worried about not being able to potentially attend the one coming up at the end of this year. So we're like, you know what, let's just do like a small, intimate on Halloween, because what a fun day to get married on. Wedding where it was just about, you know, 14 people or something like that. It was just like, you know, very, very direct family. And we said to make it fun, since it was going to be on Halloween, we're like, why don't let's dress up, you know, and just get weird. And it was super fun. Like my wife's mom dressed up, because we're Jewish, and her mom dressed up as a Hasidic, like, Jew rabbi, and and married us like that. It was ridiculous. And we dressed up as, you know, she dressed up as Cinderella, and I dressed up as Prince Charming. She's a big Disney fan, and you know, it's Halloween, so we're like, on one hand, it's like, okay, it's Halloween, we need to dress up, but like, it's a wedding, so like, how can we kind of check two boxes? We're like, let's just dress up like, you know, Disney characters, in, you know, formal Disney characters. So I ended up being Prince Charming. She did Cinderella, and it was super fun. It was really fun,
dude. I love that, and I will say that is fucking rad. Like that's seriously a really cool idea.
Rad.
I said it was rad. I said it was rad.
Rad.
What I think was
Radical.
the best though was, I believe it was Molly's dad dressed up as you.
You know what? I have pictures of all this. Let me bring these up here so you can see what is going on here.
Which I have to shake him down for the originality of the idea, because last Halloween we were on tour and we were in Norfolk, Virginia, and for Halloween the whole band dressed as Dan.
No fucking way. You got the whole band to dress. Oh, that's brilliant.
Mohawk wigs, Dan makeup, the same shirt. We had literally got his exact pants that he had, and he didn't know anything about it until we went to get on stage, and we all were dressed as him.
That is a great fucking prank, and awesome. It's a great homage and prank at the same time, right?
Oh yeah, we're just trying to hone in on the exterior greatness that is Dan, and just trying to put it inside. You know, if you could take the greatness that is Dan Jacobs and just get that energy and just put it right inside your own chest,
living
life's better. Quality of life
just goes up
straight up.
A little bit more love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart.
Put a little Dan in your heart.
Okay. We have things here. I mean, here's me and my wife. You can see we're dressed up as Prince Charming, Cinderella kind of thing going on.
Beautiful.
Let's see here. Oh my goodness. What other ones have we got here? You can kind of see here. You can kind of see in here. This is you look closely. That's her mom being dressed up as a Hasidic.
I can see it now. Oh my God, that is brilliant.
That looks like on Dewey Cox, like the record label guys.
Yeah, it was so awesomely ridiculous.
That's so rad.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone's ever dad off the. Maybe you can kind of see here. Yeah, you can see her dad's dressed as me with a headband on and everything.
Nailed it.
Got the mohawk, the whole shebang. Yeah, it was.
Hey,
super
Dan,
fun.
let me ask you a question. Why in hard rock, metal, whatever we want to call ourselves, is the vertically challenged guy in the band have a mohawk?
Why do you think, Johnny?
I'll take every inch I can get.
You know the answer to this question.
Well, I like to hear it from somebody else, Brandon. Come on, man. Oh,
yeah,
shit.
I mean, you know, I'll take what I get. And on our band in particular, you know, we have some tall humans.
Especially now.
Yeah, so who's the? I'm so sorry. I you know, we haven't really discussed this before. The new guy. Let's just call him the new guy because I don't actually know right now. I saw the promo pics and everything, and I don't know how long he's been in the band. Forgive me for all those Atreyu fans right now that like are like, how does he not know this? But like, I was gonna ask about the member lineup that's going on right now, and you guys walk me through it a little bit.
Well, Kyle Rosa.
So it's just really Kyle Rosa, which we hung out with Kyle in Minneapolis. You know Kyle from Hell or High Water.
Yep.
Johnny, but he's on drums. That's the only difference really is I'm on vocals, he's on drums. And then Porter is doing a lot of the screaming stuff, but Kyle is taller than I am.
Yeah.
So now you have me, who's tall as fuck. You have Kyle, who's taller than me. Then you have Travis and Porter, who are like above average height, and then you have Dan, who is not.
It's just everybody's getting taller somehow, and I am not. I'm still waiting to fit into my extra large GBH shirt that my mom told me I was going to grow into when I was 15 years old.
Johnny, you know what?
It doesn't fit, Mom. It doesn't fit.
You've kind of been through the same thing, Johnny, because you had Jimmy, who was really tall.
Yeah.
And then Mike was there for a little while, who was shorter.
Yeah.
Then you had Aaron, who was also shorter. So you were like, cool, I'm in the mix. And then Brooks is like a beanstalk.
Yeah, he's about the same height as Jimmy. I mean, they're right around the same thing going on there.
Yeah, it really changes the whole dynamic of the stage.
It's a radical change in the dynamic.
Oh, it's radical, rad.
I'm glad you brought up the late great Jimmy the Rev Sullivan. You guys have been on tour with us over the years, in and out, and even beyond that. Just friendship gatherings, everything. We're really close. And St. Patrick's Day meant a lot to Jimmy, means a lot to me for obvious reasons. And, I just wanted to ask you guys if you had any, moments or stories that you wanted to share about Jimmy Sullivan here on this live stream.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dan, first.
I got one. One of my most vivid memories of Jimmy, in his just in full great Jimminess. We were on 2008. We were on tour with you guys, and Bullet for My Valentine. It was like it ended up almost being like world tour, and we went to Australia and New Zealand.
Oh yeah, you're bringing up an Australian one. Oh shit.
Oh yeah.
Hold on, I need a shot for this.
You know what? I'll have one with you, just because.
Dude, that Australian tour was fucking nuts. All right, I didn't mean to cut you off. Please proceed, Dan.
No, it was nuts. It was nuts. Cheers, Jimmy. To Jimmy.
To Jimmy. Happy Shank Patrick's Day, brother.
But for anybody that doesn't know anything about the touring world and how this whole situation worked for us as bands moving around out there, we were on planes the same day, flying together. We were on buses moving around together and whatnot. And I remember getting up. Most of the times, because we had to fly from show to show, we'd get up really early in the morning when sometimes it was even dark out, and I'll have to get on this bus to take us to the airport or wherever we're going. And I remember this one, I don't know what show it was, but everybody got hammered that night, the huge, went to bed, woke up like an hour later, get on this bus, and Jimmy had not gone to sleep. Jimmy was still going. So we were on the bus, and I just remember everybody like being like so tired, and I was just like, and Jimmy was singing opera at the top of his fucking lungs on the bus.
I remember this.
And I remember everyone just being like, what is he doing right now? Like, it is like 4 a.m.
Do you remember what the song was? This is a song that we would sing together every once in a while.
I don't remember the song because it was so early that all you could hear was just fucking,
I could tell it to you
like,
exactly.
shit,
it is
man.
a song that we sang together many times. Let me push the mic right away. I need a drink so bad. I need a drink so bad. And it went on and on and on, and only I just butchered it, I'm sure, but it went on, and that motherfucker could belt out anything, as you guys know.
He had some pipes, man.
Dude, beyond pipes, and it was all natural. There was like no training or anything, and he was just going insane on I need a drink so bad. I remember that moment very well.
Yeah.
I feel like as in our band in general, especially in that era of our band, me and Dan specifically are the guys in the band that are like, we love dudes like Jimmy. Like,
yeah.
we're intrigued and like we're on board. So like 5 a.m. when everyone's like fucking hell, I feel like me and Dan are the guys that are like, yeah, go.
Get him,
Like, this is awesome. This dude's killing it right now. Yeah, this dude's killing it right now. You know? It's fucking great. I love that shit. Dude, I have a great story about Jimmy in Vegas, actually, and it's such a testament to the dude, to like just the sweetheart.
Yes.
So my brother sold merch for us. My brother Ryan sold merch for us for like a decade, and he's always on tours. But if you're in a band, you're not going to always see the merch guy. You're not even maybe going to even know the merch guy because they're busy all the time, right? So we were in Vegas, played some show, and my brother is there with us, and we went to go into some club, and it was like, you know, much like it is in Vegas when you're in a band or you know somebody, like you get walked in, right?
Yeah.
And I was walking in and I was talking to my brother, and Jimmy didn't fully understand that, like, he didn't know my brother that well at the time. And he went to walk in, and he like walked up and like pushed my brother back and was like, yo, like, chill, whatever. Like, he thought he was just some dude that was just like bothering me. And I was like, no, it's my brother. Like, he's on tour with us. Like, you guys have only met like a handful of times. Like, whatever. It's my brother. It's Ryan, Jimmy, whatever. And he was so protective of me until he realized it was my brother. And then he felt so bad. And it was like, brother in a headlock. Let's get in the fucking club and go to our table kind of thing. But it was like such a cool thing where it was like, the dude was someone who, like, we were friends, but at the same time, it was like, at that time, it was like, we're friends, but we're on tour, but like, you're not like my fucking bro from childhood. But it was still like, I'm gonna protect you from this guy who's maybe fucking bumming you out right now. Like, no, that's my brother. That's my brother. And it was like, oh, cool. And then immediately it was just like, okay, cool. Now your brother's in the fucking headlock, and we're gonna go drink.
Yes. That was the thing. I think that's fucking awesome, or even rad. But honestly, that was some of the greatest things about Jimmy was the fact that a lot of people have these stories, similar stories of just how big-hearted he was, and didn't, you know, you're basically describing him as your own bouncer without realizing it, you know, and it was because, you know, it was this camaraderie and this love that, like, I got your back at any moment, and, you know, a testament to his life is that he was like that. And not to take away from your story, but he was like that with a lot of people because he had such a fucking big heart, and he really did care. He didn't care about the other shit. He wanted to have fun and hang out with his brothers, and that was, I mean, that's the extent of it. And just like hold on to that. And on this day, we call it Shank Patrick's Day. Fun story. We were flying on St. Patrick's Day one time, and he dubbed it Shank Patrick's Day because we had pens and we would start to pretend to shank each other on the plane. It was a commercial plane. This was many years ago. And we called it Shank Patrick's Day. So we're going to take one more shot for Jimmy the Rev Sullivan.
What's funny is your friend and mine, Marvin Torres, just texted me, and I think he might have texted both of us and said, I need you to ask Johnny about Shank Patrick's Day.
Oh, that's funny. I was already going there.
Fucking Marvo.
Good job,
Shank
Marvo.
Patrick's Day.
Shank Patrick's Day, everybody. All right, I think we're getting near the end here. I have recently realized that I need to urinate at some point, and I don't have a catheter like Brandon will for his 12-hour Twitch feed that's coming up on March 31st.
Wait, can I say one more thing real fast?
No, of course. We're not ending it right this second, Brandon. I'll let you speak.
I have one more small Jimmy thing.
Yeah, man.
Jimmy remembered my wife's birthday years ago when many people did not. And one of the people that you heard from was Jimmy. Remembered her birthday.
He was.
I'm just gonna throw that in there.
No, you know, a lot of people might have seen him in different phases and thought of him as a little aloof, but the man cared very much about his friends and family, and
absolutely
never missed that shit.
Proceed, though.
Proceed, sir.
We are getting towards the end. This is, I will tell you, much like my first experience with Drinks with Johnny, which was very early on.
It was
we drank some New York,
the earliest on.
We drank some New York sours. We fucking had a good conversation.
Ooh, yeah.
I've had equally. Dan knows about the New York sour. We drank them heavily.
Yeah, you
know
guys,
what time-
you were the
I
one
know,
who told
like-
it to me, and then said that you guys were making them backstage. Dan, were you able to partake in those? Because when Brandon was like, I'm like, hey Brandon, why don't you just come over and hang out? And I got some cameras and some audio shit, and we're gonna record this thing called Drinks with Johnny. He's like, cool. And then he's like, I'm like, well, what kind of cocktail do you want to make? And he sends me this thing called a New York Sour. Mind you, I've never been a bartender in my life. I only know how to drink them. I've never actually made them before. So I had to learn how to make it real quick, and it is not an easy cocktail to make. So I had to make several of them, which I don't mind. None of them went to waste.
should talk about
Drinks
the
were
fact-
the drinks were not hurt in the process of making those drinks.
The New York sours we made on Drinks with Johnny were made with about a $200 bottle of bourbon,
Yes.
and then also about a $200 bottle of wine, $400 bottle of wine.
Opus One is at least $400 now.
Yeah, I brought my wife back like the smallest little sip of Opus One, and she was like, "You fucking asshole! This is all the Opus One you brought me back." So we were drinking the fucking royal version of a New York sour.
Well, I couldn't make drinks at that time, so I needed to make up for it with really good ingredients.
Yeah, this is a Manhattan New York sour. This is the Hamptons New York sour.
Yeah, this is exactly. It's a Hamptons New York sour. Moral of the story is I love being on your show. I love digitally hanging out with you. I like digitally hanging out with you almost as much as I like hanging out with you in real life.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Almost.
I think we cut Dan off though, and I don't even remember where we were going because I'm really starting to feel these drinks. Dan, you were about to say something before that, though.
Oh, it really the fact that he said New York sours and that's what you guys were making. It like for me that really kind of staples like the time period that this all went down. Like we were on tour with Ice Nine Kills, and their drummer Patrick, when he's not touring with Ice Nine Kills, is a bartender, and like not just any bartender, like a pinky out, exquisite booze bartender. So all the fancy drinks that have all the ingredients, you're like, I don't even know what that is. That sounds very fancy. He knows all that stuff. So what he would do every day is on tour, he would ask us, what do you guys want for drinks? You know, I'm gonna make you guys drinks tomorrow. And we're like, okay, we want this. And he'd be like, all right, this is the ingredients. We put them on our rider. So every day we'd have on our rider the ingredients for these random cocktails that he would come up with, and we'd have these decadent cocktails on stage every night. He'd make them right when they'd get done with playing, and before we'd play, he'd start cooking up these cocktails. We had the best cocktails every night, and the New York Sour was like the creme. That was the one we liked the most.
But not only the beverages, we would always on the rider request the appropriate glass. So like if it was martini day, we'd have martini glasses.
Yes, you need it. You can't have a martini out of anything else but a martini glass.
No, we would get coupe glasses. We would get short, like low ball glasses, high ball glasses. All this thing. It was a whole ordeal.
Yeah.
But New York Sours, the other day he did like Patrick from Ice Nine Kills did a 12-hour fundraiser for a friend of his that had cancer, and in it we were talking again about that, and he was like, oh, I remember Martini Day. One day I was like, I want fucking dirty martinis tomorrow. So we like got martini glasses, and we're on stage playing a fucking metal show, and like in between songs, like three of us are like cheersing our fucking martini glasses. It's the best.
Yeah,
it's the best.
Those are fantastic nights. There's been a couple of wine and cheese nights for me where I asked our assistant, I was like, hey, that's a really nice bottle of wine. Can you open it for me on stage? But I also want like a cheese platter next to it. Such an asshole move, but like I had to do it.
I started doing a thing on a couple years ago. I would do a crew appreciation night.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a good night.
For instance, like Norm, our drum tech, and TM, he loves wine. He loves like a cheese plate, and he loves weed. So I would have on my drum riser for him, without him knowing, we had like a bottle of wine, a wine glass. We had a little cheese, like charcuterie thing, and then we had like a little ashtray with like a couple of like rolled joints. It was like, cool, you enjoy yourself. And then like Meg, our LD, she loved candy. We found out her beverage of choice. So at the light board that night, she'd go to work, and there would be like a bowl of Sour Patch, a bowl of chocolate, and like a glass of wine.
This is
It
a
was
great
just like,
idea.
cool, like, yeah, like just
It's
go
super
for it.
fun.
Yeah.
It's super fun.
Our guitar tech Dakota, it has the worst diet possible. So he had like McDonald's cheeseburgers, chicken nuggets, and Doritos. And he had so next to his workstation at night was a little table with like Doritos, McDonald's cheeseburgers, and nuggets. And he was just like munching and having a good time during the show.
Dude, those are the times that, like, you know, for me, it's always fun because it takes a little bit of the sometimes monotony out of the show, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you know, we're always having fun. We're always feeding off the crowd. I don't mean to diminish that whatsoever. But at some point, there's times when you're like, oh, okay, how are we going to dress this night up a little differently than the next?
You need to be human.
Yeah.
Like, humans need like new energy. So it's like when you're doing the same thing every night, you need to break it up and do something fun and do something interesting.
Yeah. And that's always fun. That's what we're trying to do here, too. Guys, seriously, so awesome. I think I need to... hey, Brandon, should I let them go before I announce the stuff? Yeah, we're going to let you guys go. Thank you so much for being part of this St. Patrick's Day special. Couldn't have it any other way than the two of you guys. Follow the Brandon Saller at the Brandon Saller, Dan Jacobs at Dan Jacobs, and of course at Atreyu. Really excited to hear the rest of the new record, guys. Warrior's a great song. The video's fucking fire. I just said fucking fire. I had never said that before in my life.
Hey, Johnny, that was rad.
That was
was
rad. Wait. Nice little send-off here. We're both in a couple of hard rock bands, and the Grammys just happened on Sunday night. What are your guys' feelings on the Grammys?
The Grammys for rock or hard rock is a joke.
Yeah, it's a joke.
Yeah.
They don't know what's
Especially-
going on.
Are they
Especially-
still putting all the rock acts in the convention center, not even lighting them
Yes.
into the Staples Center?
Yes.
That's
This
a little
year was even
weird.
different.
I'm just gonna say that, like, in this day and age of, 2021, there's still segregation in the music world, and that's a little weird to me.
The weird thing is that the Grammys is weird because the Grammys is a sense of notoriety for the success that you have had during that year.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, for hard rock and heavy metal, it is such a weird thing because this year you had In This Moment, who's a very big band who is very successful.
Yeah.
You had
Great songs. Love them.
Count.
We've been on with them before.
Yeah. You have Body Count, who's Ice-T's a fucking legend.
Absolutely.
I would never question an ounce of notoriety given to Ice-T, right? You had the bands involved a lot of the times are very fucking weird. You had Power Trip, you had stuff like that where it's like, their singer passed away, unfortunately, Riley, and it's like but they're a great band whether he passed away or not.
Yeah.
But you have all these bands that you think in the rock realm, you're like, I bet they're gonna win, and then it's always fucking random. Like this year, Body Count won again. Ice-T, you deserve everything that comes to you. You're a fucking G in the rap world, in the acting world. In
Such a nice
the metal
dude,
world.
too. You guys,
You're a
I imagine you guys have
fucking
done some tours
Yes.
with Body Count,
Yeah.
too. Such great
Super
dudes.
nice dude.
The
Shared a
nicest
dressing room
dude.
with him once.
Yeah, deserving. But it's always like with rock and metal, it's like they fucking take 5 stones, they throw them in the air, and they're like, oh, that one. It never makes sense. It never makes
Yeah.
sense.
And that's
I
not
just
nothing
never,
new. The funny thing about it is it's not nothing new. It's not like we're talking about, I mean, we're still talking about still happening, but it's nothing new. I mean, you go back to 89 when Metallica on Injustice for All lost to Jethro Tull.
Yeah.
That's like,
Yeah.
I mean, we're
It's
talking
still the
about
same.
30 years ago almost.
It's still the same. There's still
It's
this
the same.
disconnect.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
a
and
very
there's
big
things-
disconnect in the rock world and the Grammys for sure.
I mean, there's 2 of our producers, both John Fellman and Fred Archambault, who you've worked with as well.
Oh, I love
They've
Freddie.
done-
I love Freddie.
They've been on like the committee and stuff for the Grammys and stuff, and like
So
these
is
are dudes
Matt.
that, like,
Yeah, Matt was on for a minute.
so's Matt.
Yeah.
These are people that like they know, like they legitimately know, but it just shows you like the overall there's a stronger force that just comes in there and goes like, we're just gonna do this.
Yeah.
You know what? Tenacious D is gonna get Best Metal Act of the Year. And you're like, what?
Well, I don't disagree. I don't necessarily
Again.
disagree with them because the Rise of the Phoenix was one of my favorites.
Don't get me wrong.
I know it's
Incredible,
a satire record, but maybe it should have been in maybe that category. I don't know. I'm not part of the cancel. I never will be. I don't really fucking care.
We were joking because recently the weekend was like, you know what? I'm fucking boycotting the Grammys. I'll never go. I'm never going. I don't give a fuck about the Grammys. And I was like, you know what? Me too. I don't give a fuck about the Grammys.
Fine.
You don't have to even. You know what? You can continue to not even nominate me. I will not go.
Yeah.
I will not go to the award show. I will not go on the red carpet. You could suck a butt.
I dare you. I dare you to nominate us.
Well, maybe baptized. I mean, maybe next year with baptized guys.
dare
I mean, there could be some really cool shit. Again, we trash talked it enough. I love you guys. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I'm gonna let you guys go, and then I'm gonna talk to the chat here. Again, everyone, Baptize is out June 4th, but you can get your pre-sale order right now by going to Atreyu.com. You can follow
TerryMerch.com.
TerryMerch.com. Thank you for correcting me because, I didn't have that written down.
Correct.
Hey, wait, real quick. Is there any other? So we had Travis Barker on Warrior, featured on the Warrior. Are there some other features you guys are willing to admit to right now?
We got Jacoby from Papa Roach
Awesome.
on a song called Untouchable. And we got our friend Matt Heafy from Trivium on a song called Oblivion. And then we have Dan Jacobs on Stay. And then we have,
Well, that's the rad one right there.
That's the shit right there. That's the shit.
Yeah, we were originally going to do Jacoby, but he was kind of a last resort.
Oh. Do
There
you
you
have
are.
kids? Because if you don't yet, you're already ready for the perfect dad
That's a
jokes.
dad joke. You're ready, Dan. You're ready.
You're ready.
You're ready.
You're ready. You've now been.
Very ready.
You're an honoree of dad jokes now.
Hell yeah. Johnny, I love you. I hope to see you soon.
Love you guys so much. Happy St. Patrick's Day, and
Peace.
we'll talk to you soon. Cheers.
All right, late.
Later, gents.
All right, everybody. Thank you guys so much for being part of this chat. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I had a fucking blast, as you probably know. But we're going to go ahead and announce those 7 winners of the lucky new T-shirts. Brandon's going to read them into my ear in a second here. And if you guys are tuning in right now, make sure you DM us at Drinks with Johnny on Instagram so that we'll reach out to you as well. And we'll make sure we get those T-shirts to you. Hey, Brandon, who's the first winner? It is at Krispy Kreme. You are the first winner of the Drinks with Johnny T-shirt contest we ran last week. Krispy Kreme, you are a winner. Next one. Red Lips of Deceit. I see this one many times in the chat. Thank you so much for being part of the community here. You're a filthy animal, and you won. Kent Ziri _ A7X. You are also a winner. You now are going to receive one of the first of the new Drinks with Johnny t-shirt. Joshua _L _ is also a winner of the t-shirt contest. I feel bad for having like a moment in between all these guys, by the way. What was that one, buddy? Cat Coolitz, you are a winner. Let's move on. And thank you so much for being part of the contest to all of you. Which one? Icy Isolation. Refer to the graphic. You're a winner. This is why I couldn't write it down myself. Pickle de Christ. Oh my God, I love your handle. You're definitely a winner. I don't know. Was that 7? That was 7. Congratulations to the 7 lucky winners of the brand new t-shirt design from Drinks with Johnny. Thank you guys so much. Brandon, I don't think we reached it, did we? Okay, we're a few short of the 10,000 mark right now. We'll save that contest for another day. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. And you know what? As a consolation prize, we're going to send you to drinkswithjohnny.com. And for the next, how many hours? Next 12 hours, you're going to be able to, I'm sorry, what? Brandon says 24. What he says goes. You got the next 24 hours. You're going to use promo code DRINKS at the Drinks with Johnny store, and you're going to receive 30% off. That's the consolation prize. We will try another time to have you guys as guests, or a lucky contest winner as guest. Again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm having so much fun with this. This has been a blast. I had a great time with Brandon and Dan. I mean, guys, I get to hang out with my friends. You get to watch it, and we all get to get together as a community. It's so much fun. Again, I think we did better. Brandon, how do you think we did compared to last year when we were doing this? I think we're doing pretty good. I think we did a little bit better than last year. And we'll continue to get better with you guys continuing to watch. And again, appreciate you all. Make sure you guys go to the Drinks with Johnny podcast, wherever you find your podcast. It's really easy. Some of them are built into your smartphones, or whatever it is, Spotify, Apple, Amazon. If you've got a little Alexa in the corner, that'll play it for you too. Make sure you're listening to the podcast, because I do know you can't always watch. It's easy to get carried away and have some chores or work, whatever it is. Throw in a headphone, listen to the Drinks with Johnny podcast. It'll make you feel a little bit better. Make sure you subscribe there too. Moving forward, just love you guys. Thank you so much for being a part of all this. And stay tuned, stay filthy until next time. Cheers.